Hey guys, everyone is here? Okay. Welcome to Total Eclipse, okay? Whether you've never used a computer-aided transcription program or you're graduating to Total Eclipse after using a CAT system, efficient editing is the key to success. So you want to work smarter, not harder. That's efficient editing, okay? So you don't want to be messing with stuff that you don't really need to, okay? Steno or voice, the method is input, not our input is not our concern. Instead, we focus on producing a transcript without excess steps. Okay? So read along and start using Eclipse. Eclipse's many time-saving features. First, let's make sure you can read comfortably. Here's how to zoom in and out. So if you pay attention, the guys that were here yesterday are going to be able to do this a little bit easier. Those of you that weren't, show up tomorrow because he's going to be back. Okay? So what I had is the tech guy come up. So what happens on the new laptops now, if you look down in the left-hand corner, right down here, there's an FN button. Everybody see it? It's a function button. That's what it is. FN is function. Okay, so if I tell you hit the function button, that's what we're going to need to do. Okay? So if you look on the very top of your laptop, above the numbers, there's F numbers. F1, F2, F3. Do you see them?
Yes.
Everybody sees them?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone try to do Control-Shift F7. So Control-Shift F7. You see how it zooms it in? Control-Shift F8 zooms it out. Everyone get that? Is anyone's not working? Yours isn't? Okay, then you're going to have to hit Control-Shift Function F7. So if yours isn't working, then you're going to have to hit the FN button. Is it working now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So use all 8 fingers on that one hand and still hit F7. I mean, and that's why I want to turn it off. Because the stuff that it does with the function, we don't need it. You're not going to need to turn up the volume. You're not going to need to look for the light. You know, hit pause, hit the next song. Yeah, we're not doing that. Okay? What's that?
Without the shift control, it does something else.
It does something else, yeah.
That's why. So we're going to have to turn off the function button. Or you're going to have to hit the function button. So hopefully he's going to be here tomorrow. Nestor. Okay?
So we turned off the function button yesterday, and are you saying that we should be able to hit F7 and F8 solely and get those? Or still
Control-Shift F7.
Okay.
Still Control-Shift. But if Control-Shift isn't working, then you have to hit Control-Shift Function F7.
Okay.
Control-Shift Function Delete, arrow left, you know. Guys, you know, so we're going to try to get all of those turned off. But it's not as easy as Control-Shift-Delete. It's not as easy as turning something off. You have to get into the BIOS. Does anybody know what that is? Yeah, me either. Until yesterday. But it's and you'll see hopefully tomorrow when he comes in. I mean, from when you turn on your computer, when it first turns on, he has to hit something and it goes into something, and there's a BIOS function. It goes into the BIOS and then it allows you to turn this thing off, the function button. You have to go completely into that. I could build a rocket and send it to the moon easier than doing the function button, I guarantee you. But whatever, it is what it is. So everybody getting it? It's going to zoom in, zoom out.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is everybody's doing it?
Yes.
Anybody's not? Okay, guys, what I need you to do is I need you to bring a pad of paper and a pen also, so that you write these things down. You're going to have it in the lessons, but I guarantee it, you're gonna what was that Zoom? What? Was that in lesson 19 of 28? No. Okay? So this way you write it down. It's easier to kind of go through your notes. Okay? Everybody got it?
Yes.
All right. Okay. To use this tutorial, you need to do 3 things. To do this whole tutorial, all you'll need to do is 3 things. Be able to read. Can everyone do that? There's some over here. I don't know. Be able to watch and be able to do. So they're gonna write it down for you where you can read it. Then they're gonna show you a little visualizer, what are called visualizers, and then there's gonna be a little tutorial afterwards where you can mess around with what they just told you how to do. So you're gonna see how to do it. It's pretty cool. Okay? So as long as you can do those 3 things, we're gonna be golden. Okay, so 1, read the first class lesson in the proper order. The simplest tasks are presented first. So that's why they have it in order that they do. So if you follow along with me, you're going to be able to do this. If you start skipping around and you start doing other lessons before we start doing it in class, you may learn some bad habits. Hopefully not, okay? Guys, we're gonna go at a speed where it's gonna be productive, okay? I got this, all right? Trust me. Hopefully. Okay? So, each lesson presumes you're familiar with what has just come before it. So that's why they put it in the order that they do. So it's going to be in the order of the simplest thing to the hardest thing at the end, which really isn't that hard. It should be okay. Okay? Watch some visualizer movies that are built into Total Eclipse. Each movie only takes a couple of minutes of your time, and a message like this will help you. Okay? So, I'm going to show you how to do it. I don't necessarily want you to do it, and you'll see why. Actually, I kind of do want you to do it, and then we're going to turn it off, and then I'm going to play mine. So I kind of want you to know how to do it, but then you're going to need to turn it off because you're going to see it's going to get ridiculous. And that. Okay? So what I need you to do is click on here where your prompt is right there. Everybody's prompts on here.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. And then press Alt-V.
Welcome to the Total Eclipse Visualizer. The visualizer is a set of more than 260 short. Welcome to the visualizer. Is a set of more than 260 short such as Windows Media Player, Real Player, the QuickTime Player, and VLC Media Player.
Okay, you can turn it off.
My hair's not working.
Huh?
My hair's not working.
Your what?
My hair? Shift here? Or shift here?
No, it's Alt-V as in Victor, not B as in baseball. Huh? It's what?
Just a one.
Mine's not doing it.
Huh?
Mine's not doing it. See, it puts the B there. Here's the alt. It has to be right on the.
It has to be the ALT.
No, but I
Alt.
mean your cursor.
Yeah.
It has to be between the arrow and the H.
No, it just has to be on the here somewhere.
Oh, okay. And it just just X out of it. Just when you want to close it out, you just click on the X.
No.
Such as Windows Media Player,
Oh.
Real Player,
Press it.
the QuickTime Player, and VLC Media Player.
Okay, everybody got it? See?
Yes.
No? Okay, so I'm gonna play it for you, and hopefully it's loud enough. If it's not, okay.
Welcome to the Total Eclipse Visualizer. The visualizer is a set of more than 260 short movies that are integrated with the Eclipse help.
See how by pushing the space bar you can pause and resume? Okay? And it's going to kind of go through that. So if you need to pause it or resume it, you can.
System. Each movie lasts only a few minutes. There are MP4 files which can be played by a variety of media players, such as Windows Media Player, Real Player, the QuickTime Player, and VLC Media Player. We include an installer for VLC Media Player as part of the Total Eclipse installation disk. We recommend using the VLC Player because it offers great control while you're watching the presentations. Within the VLC Player, you can go to Tools, Preferences, or press Control key to see the many hotkeys that are available. For instance, you can press F for full screen and Escape to escape full screen. You can press the space bar to pause or resume playback. And to jump forwards or backwards, you can press the left or right arrow keys in combination with the Shift, Alt, or Control keys. You might want to press the space bar to pause.
So what they're telling you, I'm not really stopping on these things because they're going to go through it later. Okay? So it's not that big of a deal right now. The thing that you really need to know is the space bar. Okay? Pause it, resume it, not that big of a deal. See this little blue line right here? So you can do all of that stuff, Shift, Control, Alt, Delete, blah, 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 whatever. If you come down here, put your arrow in here, and you miss something you want to back up, just click on that arrow and it'll back up. You can just listen to it again. Does that make sense? Pretty easy. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So, I mean, you don't have to do the Control, Shift, whatever all the time, okay? You just kind of put your arrow back here and it'll go back.
And try out something that you've seen.
Can y'all hear okay back there? It's okay? All right.
If you already have Eclipse running, then you can press Alt and Tab together to switch over to Eclipse and try something out. And then press Alt Tab together one more time to switch back to the visualizer.
So if you if you press Alt Tab, you can do it right now. Try it, Alt Tab. The tab should be on your left hand side. So Alt Tab. You see how it kind of shifts over and gives you a different screen? Is that doing it? Yes.
It took me out.
Yes.
No.
Oh, you can switch.
C.
I don't have that.
No. This one?
Oh.
I don't have that.
Yeah, it's not going to have that
Oh,
because
okay.
mine went a little bit further.
Tap what you want.
So it's not necessarily going to be this screen, but the Alt Tab gives you different views of stuff you can do. So you can go back to Eclipse and try something and then switch back to the video. So that's what it's allowing you to do by the Alt Tab. You understand?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question. Do you have to be within the Alt V to do that Alt Tab? No.
Probably not.
It was kicking me out. Gotta do it, and then it kicks me back to.
Just go off tab like this and go like that.
I was.
There.
Oh.
Yeah, it took me like to my ACES window that I have open on the internet.
Yeah, it's gonna, to whatever you have open, it is gonna give you that option. So if you have Eclipse open, it's gonna open that. If you had Napster open or whatever, I don't know, Spotify,
Do it one time. It goes
MyFace, Facebook, whatever, whatever you were on, it's gonna give you that option, okay?
It goes to the next one.
So if you were on Facebook, then you can,
See?
or whatever,
But if I do it again,
okay?
When you've you've watched all the visualizers, you can earn up to 0.6 NCRA continuing education units by ordering the Total Eclipse overview. I hope the visualizers and the in-depth tutorials that have been prepared for you will help you to truly enjoy Total Eclipse.
Okay, got it? Pretty easy. All it did was just explain what it's going to do for you. Okay? The points at the end, you don't have to worry about that. That's for working reporters. Okay? We have to get continuing education points, and that's what they were worried. I mean, that's what it's for. So it's not you guys. Okay? So the third thing is going to be do the your turn exercise. Okay, and that's what it is. The little tutorials at the end are called your turn. Okay? So this is a real Eclipse document, not a simulation. At some point, each chapter asks you to try out the features that are explained. Okay, each lesson opens with essential information. Some recommended a Tell Me More article, usually at the end. Okay? You probably won't need that, but it does. The information in the Tell Me More articles is important, but it's more detailed. If you want to cover just the essential information and save the details for another time, you'll find the Tell Me More articles are available as separate lessons that can be opened later. Okay? You don't really need to get into it. Okay? And one of the things that Eclipse has is a auto index. Guys, I've been using Eclipse for about 12 years. I still don't know how to use that auto index. It is ridiculous. Okay? So when, not if, when you get out, you'll be able to take an Eclipse seminar and you can ask them how to do it there. Okay? I had a guy who's really good. I mean, I don't know if some of you guys know Glenn, Chris Pogue. You know Glenn Pogue? Glenn is the guru of court reporting here. Okay? He was the guy that taught my school. He was the guy that owned the school when I went to school. Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, he's the guru of court reporting. I mean, he's done it all. You know, he has every letter under his name. RPR, RMR, merit writer, everything. Okay? His son is really good too, and I got him to come speak about the auto index. I've never seen so many deer in the headlight looks in my life. I was even like that. I was like, what? I didn't get it. I still don't get it. I don't. But I'm going to show you a way to be able to do it, that you're going to be able to do it. It's going to work just fine. Okay? At the end of each lesson, you will be asked to exit Eclipse, and there are 2 reasons why. You will need to take a break. I'll let you know when we need a break. Breaks aren't really that good. But whatever. So when you go through these your turn lessons, guys, take advantage of it. Okay? Take advantage of it. You're not going to mess anything up. Okay? Even if you start doing stuff that you're not supposed to, you're not going to mess stuff up. Because all you need to do is go back up into help, go back into install lesson, and we're in welcome. So if you remember which lesson you're in, go in there, go into install lesson, highlight it, push OK. It's going to, you know, kind of zoom out. I mean, go away. That means that the lesson is installed. So all the stuff that you did on it is put back. So you don't have to worry about messing it up. You're not going to mess it up. Yes, sir?
You said install lesson. You need lesson player.
No, install lesson. So if you come up here, see where it says install lesson? That's where we installed all of your lessons. Okay? Guys, and I told you this the first night. Do not go in there and start messing with those lessons. Do not go in there, open that lesson, start messing around, because once you mess around with that, it's gone. It's gone. you go into lesson player. Okay? That's all you need to do. If you have questions, ask me. Hey, sir, I'm messing around with that thing. I don't remember what you told us to do, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I'll tell you what to do. Go back into lesson player. To install lesson, we'll reinstall all of the lessons, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay? But if you start messing around with stuff that you're not supposed to, you're going to mess things up. And then they're going to have to reinstall, I think, probably the whole Eclipse thing again for you to probably get those lessons back. I'm not even sure. But I've never had anybody do it, so please don't try to get the trophy and be the first one, okay? All right?
David, what were the complete steps, if we do need to reinstall the lessons, what were the complete steps? You go to lesson, install lesson, and you highlight it?
Go to install, install lesson, highlight it, shift, arrow down all the way. Don't sit there, just hold the arrow down and it'll go all the way to the bottom, and then press enter and that reloads your lessons. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing that they're going to teach you about, other than zoom in and zoom out, which is what?
Shift control accent.
Is
Zoom in.
in. What's zoom out?
Shift control.
F8. So F7 is zoom in, F8 is zoom out. Control shift. Control shift. Got it? Okay. So if you go to Alt-O, do Alt-O. This is what's going to come up. This little box, and it's a print box. It's going to sound a little weird, but the thing that Eclipse tries to do is they try to put the letter with what you're trying to do. Why this isn't Alt-P, I don't know. But it's Alt-O, and it's for, I think it's for output. It's what they're trying to do, output, which is print. Okay? Is everybody here? Does everybody have that?
Yes.
Okay? So, there's a lot of different things you can do. So, on the pages, when you initially open it up, and you can open it up in the middle of a file. You can be on page 56 of 287. It doesn't matter. And you push Alt-O, it's always going to go to all. So all means it's gonna print 1 through 289 or 87, whatever your document is. Okay? But the cool thing about it is, say you're working on a transcript and you have a proofreader that's going to help you proofread. Okay? Well, you know what? I've already done 57 pages. Okay? So what I'm going to do is 57 pages of 289. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print 1-57. Can everybody see that? I know it's a little bit small. Let me see if I can.
Would you be able to zoom first before you brought up that window? And then if you bring up the window, would it zoom?
What's that?
The little window that you have right there, if you had zoomed it first before you opened it, would it be bigger? No.
Are you going to zoom it before you open it? You can't. Usually, what it lets you do is right here. You can come to this, and I don't know why it's not letting it. You can use it. You can move it. Is what it's letting you do. And press. And I don't know why it's not letting me zoom it in larger than that. Usually it will. If you press this little thing on most of the functions in there, it'll allow you to make it bigger. So click on this little printer right here and see if it lets you do it. Does it? It's just move and exit?
Yeah.
Okay, no big deal. So what you want to do is right there and go 1 through 57. Can everybody see that? It's a little tough, but it says 57. So if you do the 1-57, it's going to allow you to print pages 1 through 57. It's not going to print all of the pages that you haven't scoped yet. Okay? So that's how you do it. It's kind of basic, but I'm going to go through it like you've never printed anything before. Okay? So just kind of bear with me. Okay? So there's some other things that you can do. So like you can do 1 through 57. You know what? I want you to look at page 89. Okay, well then I'll print 89. So I did the 1 through 57, comma, 89, comma, and then I want to do 100 through 111. So you see what I've done there? Just by putting a comma or a dash makes you be able to print your print commands different. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes. Does it not to anyone? Guys, don't be scared to ask a question.
Not that.
Not you, somebody else.
It's just designating certain pages.
Yeah.
Right? It's just designating those certain pages.
Does it
What were you gonna say?
specify that you can do notes if you need to, or an actual transcript?
I mean, you can print notes, but I don't know an instant where you would really need to print the notes. But I mean, I think that it can. Okay? But I don't know that you would ever need to. Okay? So, you know, it allows you to do a lot of different things. Okay? So you can print all these pages. So really what it's going to do is going to print 1 through 57. So you have 57, 89, so that's 58, and then 100 through 11. So that's another 11, that's what, 69 pages. Okay, instead of doing the 289 pages, you can cut this out and do it. So say you've already done the first 57 pages. Well, now your proofreader is back and it's like, well, what do you have? Okay, well, now I have 58 through 123. Oh, okay. I have those pages done. I'm on 124, so I'll print 158 through 123. Okay? So that's really all it's telling you to do. Okay? But if you don't know these things, and you're printing a bunch of extra pages for nothing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Alt P is for period, just an FYI.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why you can't do the Alt O.
Yes. And we've got a trophy.
New teacher
No.
Yeah. Hey.
You got that crap,
Mhm.
girl.
Be careful. Okay? So there's all different things that you can do also. So, also you can come to setup, push setup, which should bring you here. Does everyone's go to a PDF? If not, drop this little box down and see if you have it. If you have a PDF. Is there some kind of PDF file in there?
Yeah.
Does anyone not have a PDF file in there? You don't?
What?
Okay. Guys, pay attention. Okay. When we're doing little stuff like that, you can talk to each other. Hey, what do you think? Blah blah blah. When I say guys up here, it's up here. Okay. if you don't have a PDF file in the print, don't freak out. If you do and you want another one, go into Google and Google Qt, C-U-T-E, Qt PDF. Okay? Guys, and it's real easy. You click on there, it asks you if you want it, click it, it's free, boom, and it automatically goes into your printer. It automatically goes in there, which is what I'm gonna do. I don't have mine, I don't have it in there, but I really like it. Okay, and I had it on my computer. Long story short, I had my computer stolen about 2 months ago. We're gonna get into that, okay? About backing up stuff, which I did, kinda, a little bit. Anywho, but I really liked it. So now I'm having to reload all of my stuff onto this computer, and it's all brand new stuff, you know, than the stuff that I had. So if you go to and Google Qt PDF, if you go to Qt PDF, you can download it. It'll automatically load into your printer mode. You can go into Eclipse, go into a job, do the Alt-O, and it should be in there. Okay? This is why you need it. Were you going to ask something about that?
Yeah, I was. But it just gives us like different options.
Yeah,
So that's why, for what I was gonna ask.
Of the Qt PDF?
Yes.
2 or 3, and I think 2 are pros.
Do the one you don't have to pay for. You have to pay for any of them?
Download 1.56 megabytes, so like.
And you don't, it doesn't need to be huge. It really doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why you do this. Okay, why you have the PDF files for those of you that don't know. Back in the day, when I first started, 27 years ago almost, 27 years ago, guys, we printed everything. You printed it, and you put it in a binder like this. This is a transcript right here. This is what the old transcripts look like, right here. So you printed it, 498 pages worth of, I don't know how many it is, but it's a lot, okay? That's what it looked like. We used to do everything like that. So everything was sent like that. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys, like this one is 293 pages. That's a transcript right there. So I'm gonna pass it around and you can look at it, kind of, you know, see what it is, what it looks like. That's how we used to do it. The way that technology has come, the only thing I print now is I print it to proofread it. Okay? And there's method to the mayhem. Don't think that you're smarter than the software, because you're not. Okay? Usually, you're not. You in the back.
If you save it to PDF here, can this, to your knowledge, be used to send over for Canvas? If they want in PDF?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. So the reason that you do the PDF is because when you send a PDF file, they can't mess with it. Okay? If you send the ECL file, which is the transcript file, they can go in there and change whatever. So you send this to an attorney, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but something can get changed and your name is on it. Your name is on, well, I mean, that's what mine says. Mine says not guilty. He was guilty. He got 574 years. Mine says not guilty. Huh?
Probably a rabbit trail, but you can edit PDFs as long as you have the right version notes, whatever you're.
And you probably can. I mean, and there's guys. I mean, you know, people can probably do it, but through the PDF, it makes it harder. When you send the ECL, you can just start typing. You can't do that in the PDF. You have to know what you're really doing to really edit in a PDF file. Okay? Unless you're Mrs. Einstein back there and know how to do it. But anyway, that's how we send everything now. So I mean, like when I have appeals on cases that I send to the 4th Court of Appeals, they don't want any paper anymore. Everything is paperless. Okay? And everything is sent in a PDF file. And you send it via email, on an email to them. So it's pretty cool, but it's, you know, if you don't know how to do it, it can be a little intimidating. But you're gonna know how to do it by the time you get out of here. You're gonna know how to do a PDF file, okay? How to name it, how to put it somewhere, how to, you know, put it somewhere else to where you can put it in an email and send it somewhere else. So it's pretty cool, okay? So that's why you need the PDF. So download one of those if you don't have one. Get something, okay? This is the easiest one right here, and it works good, okay? So this is also where your different printers are. So I have a printer at work, I have a printer at home, you know, so I have my different printers on here. So when you go in there, you can change your printer. This is where you go to change your printer. So you go into Alto, Setup, and then Printer Names. So that's where your different printers are, your PDF file is, all of that stuff. Any questions about that? Yeah.
I hate to ask a dumb question, but when we have it set to Microsoft Print to PDF, we're not literally printing it at that time, we're saving it as a PDF?
You're saving it. You're not printing it.
Okay.
It's not going to print, guys.
Okay.
You're in print mode, but it's not going to print. So really all it's doing is saving it.
So you're saving it in that format, and then later you select a printer and actually...
Mm-hmm. Let's see if it'll do it. Hang on. Okay, so it's telling me that it's going to save this document right here. Pay attention, guys. I'm in the PDF. Let me walk you through it again. Okay, you're right here. I want to print that document right there. I don't want to print it, I want to put it in a PDF file. Okay? So what I do is Alto. Walk with me. Alto. Setup. Bring this thing down. It's already on PDF, but if you need to find it, go to PDF, select it, okay, okay. So now it sends you here. Now it asks you, what do you want to name that document? Okay, you can name it whatever you want. 9518 court, I don't know, or Jimmy Gonzalez deposition, whatever. Okay, so you can name it whatever you want. Save it as a PDF file. Okay, and it asks you where you even want to put it. It's automatically usually going to put it in your documents. Okay, well maybe you know what, I want to put it on the desktop. You can. So wherever you select, that's where it's going to put it. So that's where you need to go to find it. So when you open up the email to send it, it's like, oh man, it's sending me the documents, it's not in here. We didn't save it in documents. You saved it in desktop. That's why. So be careful, pay attention to what you're doing, remember where you put it, okay?
So after you click on PDF, then you hit OK again, but I didn't get that same window.
hit OK again.
And press okay.
All right.
Anyone else? Anyone else not get there? Okay, so you're right there. Don't click it again. Okay, because then you're going to save that file. Okay, you don't need to. Okay, but I'm just showing you how to get there to here. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Everyone has it?
Yes.
Does anyone not know? Any questions? No? Okay, so once it sends it, and it's going to look different. I mean, because like if you save it in an ECL file, and the ECL file is the Eclipse file. So that's an actual transcript. So it's going to look like a little book. Have you ever done that? Have you ever seen that? No?
Yes.
Yes? No?
Nope.
No? All right. Dang. So if you come right here, just kind of minimize everything. Come in here and you come to transcript, that's what it's going to look like. The ECL files are going to look like this little book. Okay? The PDF files are going to look totally different. The Qt PDF are red. They're red, and I think it looks like a little triangle or whatever. I don't know. It looks different, and I think it says PDF on it. Okay, so it's going to look different. All right? So if you click on one of these, you're in an ECL file that can't be modified. You don't want to send that. Okay? You want to send it as a PDF. Got it? All right. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Perfect. Okay. On your print mode also, if you're a freelance court reporter, you have to have time codes. Got it? Time codes are over here on the side, and it tells you what time it is. Okay? And they did this about 8 years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, where the court reporter has to start keeping time of the depot. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But we do. We do. Or y'all do. But anyway, so you have to know what time the depot started. So whenever you start writing, the time codes is put it on. So when you print, you have a place for the time codes right here, where it'll print with the time codes. There's also a place in the user settings, which we'll get to yet later, that'll put it on the transcript also. Okay? So like if you're doing real time and you have your computer set up, you have a computer for, you know, attorney 1, attorney 2, and attorney 3, you know, and you've got your computer set up and everything's going, it's going to have the time codes where you can put it on there in the user settings. Okay? It's pretty cool. But you have to keep track of it now if you're doing depositions. Okay? Because it used to be you could take the deposition of a person for 18 days if you wanted to. 18 days straight, 8 or 10 hours a day, it didn't even matter. Now they said, I think it's like 6 hours. What is it? Do you know, Kate? I think it's 6 hours, 6 or 8 hours. It's either 6 or 8, but that's all you get. So if you have an expert witness and it's a guy that built a rocket that went to the moon and you need to know what happened, why that rocket didn't go to the moon, you have 8 hours, or you're going to have to set up a hearing with the judge to ask for more time. But that's really all you get. If you need more time and you spend 8 hours trying to figure it out and you didn't get it, you're going to have to go ask for special permission to get extended time. But really, that's all you get. So each side gets 6 or 8 hours, so you have to keep track of that time. Okay? When, not if, when you get out, you can worry about that then. You don't need to worry about it now. But what I was getting to was the time codes. Okay? So if you go to the user settings, there's also a document thing where you can do different stuff in here also on print modes. But it's a little more advanced than what we need to do, so it's not that big of a deal. But that's where you go into, that's what these little wheels are for. That just goes into the user settings. The little orange wheels is the user settings. You don't really have to worry about that right now. I don't know that you will in this class, not for this, for what we're doing. I'm just kind of showing you where it is, okay? Number of copies. So you can copy as many as you want. Say it's a 10-page transcript, and it's like, well, you know, I really don't have a printer or scanner or whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and print it 10 times because I need to make 10 copies. You can. And by pushing this arrow up and down, lets you do the different copies. You see that? Pretty self-explanatory stuff, but I'm going to, you know, like I said, I'm going to go through it, everything, like you don't know. You can also do it as a draft, right here. So you can do it as a draft. Some of them put something on there that say it's a draft, you know, so it's not going to go out. So if somebody gets it, it's like, you know, this was the original copy. No, it's not. It says draft on it, you know. So it's, or you don't get confused, you know. And say you did the OJ trial, and you have 94 volumes, because it was however many days it went, 94 days, I don't know, you know, and every day is like a volume. So you have a different volume, and that's how you can do it. You know what, I need volume 9, put 9 in there, it'll go to the 9th volume, be able to print it. Not that big of a deal. It's just easier to print the Alt-O in the thing, print it then. Okay, going into the different volumes, you really don't need to do that. Okay. I think that's it.
David?
Yeah.
Each time that you close your work for that day, will it automatically start the next volume the next day? Or do you have to do something special to make it volume 2 for day 2? No. You can, and we'll get into it. That's a good question, but we'll get into it further as we get into the software. But really what you're going to do is you can build like job dictionaries. Like say you're taking an oil and gas deposition, and they're saying the same things every day, and they're talking about fracking and fracking this and fracking that, you know, but they're talking about fracking, or they're talking about, you know, the different machines that they use, or different pipes, and they have these, you know, big names. Or you're taking a medical thing and they're talking about, you know, hyperdysphagia or what, I don't know, you know, and I'm just making stuff up. But you're not going to stroke out hyperdysphagia every time, are you? No, you're not. Okay? So what you're going to do is hype or hypephage, something like that. Smarter, not harder. Okay? So you're going to figure something out. Well, now you already have it in there as hype comes up, hyperphagia, dysplasia, mononucleosis. So it's this whole big old thing that's that big that means a sore on your lip. Seriously? You know, and you're gonna stroke this thing out every time, and you have to take the deposition in this lawsuit. You're gonna take 74 depositions of this same old stuff, and you're gonna stroke that out every time. Good luck. When your hands fall off, let me know how that worked out for you. Not good. Okay? So you want to work smarter, not harder. So you want to figure out briefs that are going to help you get through. Well, you know what? I don't want to have to put it in every time, every depot when it's the same stuff for the depot. You don't have to. You don't have to. All you have to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it later, which kind of comes to this, is when you load it up every day for your real time, it's going to ask you, do you want your main dictionary? Yes, I do, but I want to add these other dictionaries. Dr. Krzyzewski, Mrs. Zamboni, Mr. Mononucleosis, I don't know. I mean, you know, stuff that you're not going to want to have to stroke out every time. You already have briefs for it. You did the high pipe, mon for mononucleosis, whatever. Okay, so you have these briefs. You don't have to recreate the wheel every day. By putting that dictionary in, it already knows that high pipe is going to come up hypophagia. It's working smarter, not harder. Okay, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. So the different volumes is kind of the same thing. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, just keep track of the days that you're there, and that'll be your different volumes. Does that make sense? Okay. 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 We're gonna talk about toolbars and info bars. Okay? That's the next thing. So is everybody right in here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So really what they're going to talk about is being able to input a job, which is Alt-I, and translate a job, which is Alt-T. Okay? And it's going to make sense after the visualizers and I explain it a little bit more. But if you're doing real time, pay attention. If you're doing real time, you won't have to do this. You won't have to do this. If you're not doing real time, then you're going to need to do this. So I'm going to show you how to do it because hopefully you're going to be doing real time so you won't have to worry about this. But if for some reason, you know, you get to the depot, your computer's zapped out, everything's just going wrong, it's just a bad day, it's like, you know what, God, it's not working. I can't do real time today, but I can still take the depot because the machines that we have now write onto a little SD card. Okay? And I don't know if you guys remember back in the day what a floppy disk is. Floppy disk is about that big. And that's what we used to write on, was this floppy disk that you put in your machine, and it held about 9 days, 8 days worth of stuff. Week. Now they made something that's about this big, it's about that big, and it holds a whole year worth of stuff for me now. I can put my WAV files, I can put my ECL files, I can put my note files on there, and dictionary, and my dictionary file. There's 4 files to every job, okay? You're not gonna have 4 files because you don't have a WAV file. And the WAV file is where we can record it. So we're able to record on the machine with an external mic, and it records. It's pretty cool, okay? What you're gonna have is the dictionary, the notes, and then the ECL file. Okay? Those are the 3 that you're gonna have. So it'll hold all of that stuff, and just depending on how much you write a day, I mean, I could put a year and a half up, you know, sometimes in the court that I just came out of, because we didn't write that much. But in the court that I used to be in, children's court, we wrote every day. Every day. Every day. You had something every day. There wasn't a day it's like, yeah, we don't have anything today. That never happened. Ever. You know, you might not have as bad of a day, but you wrote every day. You know, there's some days that you may write 6, 7 hours. So let's just say you're writing 6 or 7 hours every day to the end of the year. It would still hold on a 32 gig little SD card, would hold about a year's worth of stuff. It's pretty cool, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Now, if you had an SD card that big, you would never need another one ever in your life again. You could share it with 12 other people and not fill that thing up. But that's how big those SD cards were. They were ridiculous, okay? But we're gonna talk about toolbars and info bars, which is this right here. That's your toolbar, okay? Pay attention.
If you're a mouse lover, you'll appreciate the many icons that are built into Total Eclipse. So let's see how to arrange the toolbars to meet your needs. You can pull down the window menu to customize your toolbars.
So what? I'm gonna kind of go through it like this. I used to do it in the past where I'd play the whole video, and then I go back and then I talk about the highlights. I'm just gonna stop it when I think I need to now. So if you want to go in and change your toolbars, go into Windows. So go up in there into Windows and open that box. And it should look like this. Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Select large icons or small icons, but we'll show you how to do this in a separate visualizer. For now, let's open the dialog that lets you toggle on or off the various elements of your display. The speed key for this dialog is Shift-Control-F3.
So the speed keys that they're talking about is an easy way to get to that without going into Windows, come all the way down, click in it. So it's an easy way to get back to it, okay? So if you want to write that down, might not be a bad idea.
Shift-Control-F3.
So it's Control-Shift-F3, okay? That's how you get to your toolbars, view toggles, and that's what it is, okay?
Control F3. Here you'll find checkboxes to turn on the various toolbars of your system, and there's also a fast way to turn off all the toolbars if you want to make a little extra space.
Okay, so do that right now. Go into Windows, or Control-Shift-F3, or leave, whatever you want to do. Everyone has it? Okay. Click this. It might say all. Does it say all or
Yes.
all off?
Mine says all.
Yeah, click all. Got it?
Takes them away.
Hmm?
It take it away. You know what I mean? Like it.
Does it say all off or all?
It says all.
All off?
Yes.
Okay. Then click 6. You see what it's doing?
Yeah. If you click all off, it takes these off, these away. Right? Isn't that what it did? Yeah. So if you click all off, then it takes them off.
Okay, so what you have to do is click all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought you could click 6 and it would click all 6 of them, and it doesn't.
Oh, just 6.
So click them all, and you're going to see. Do you see what it's doing? So it gives you this whole doggone thing of toolbars. Okay? I'm showing you this for a reason. You can change your toolbars to whatever you want. Guys, all this is doing, and I'm not able to really show you. Let me see if
If you're a mouse lover, you'll appreciate the many icons that do this in a separate visualizer. For now, off the various elements, Shift-Control-F3. Here you'll find checkboxes to turn on.
Okay, so if you click them all, it gives you all the toolbars, right?
Yes.
You don't want that. I'm showing you how to do it if you want to. So if you think you might want to do it, you can do it that way. All right? I wouldn't, and I'm going to show you why. It's going to take up way too much space for stuff that you can do already. Okay? So there's really no need. Really all you need is one. Okay? So just check one. Turn all of the others off. You can do the all off and then check the one.
On the various toolbars of your system, and there's also a fast way to turn off all the toolbars if you want to make a little extra space. The speed key for turn off all toolbars is Shift Control F2.
Get that? Shift Control F2 is turn off all of them. You shouldn't really need it, but if you do, that's what it is.
The View Toggles dialog is also where you control the appearance of the info bar. This is the display column at the left edge of the Eclipse screen.
This is very important. Go into that Windows and click and see if that info bar is clicked. It's checked. Is it?
No.
No.
Check it. You're going to want the info bar. You're also going to want Auto Magic. Right here. The pop-up you don't need. You are going to want the Auto Magic. So click it. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone not? Where you at? I'm right here. Duh. Where you bees? Anybody else? Anyone? Okay. So you want these checked.
Here is where Automagic choices appear most typically. So as you move your cursor from word to word, Eclipse offers you the most likely editing choices.
The cool thing about this software, did you guys pay attention to what he just said? I'm going to rewind it. Imagine that. Huh? I'm going to back it up. But as you move your cursor from word to word, the more you use this software, the more it knows what you're doing. And it's guessing. It's even guessing to what you may have written. And it gives you options. Okay? And that's what this thing is going to do right here. And this is the info bar and the Auto Magic. Okay? I'm going to back it up just a bit.
Most typically, so as you move your cursor from word to word, Eclipse offers you the most likely editing choices. You can, however, also display.
So as you move, I mean, and it'll even tell you what, do you want to open a dictionary? Do you want to do a file management? I wrote I, but did you mean to write it? Did you mean to write is? Did you mean to write in? It's going to give you all of these different options, okay? And it's pretty cool. We'll get into it later.
Automagic choices in a small pop-up window. We'll show that in a separate visualizer. Also, the visualizer that is specifically about the info bar will show you how there you can see translation statistics in real time, as well as an audio indicator and auto-brief suggestions to make it easier to write. If you're a mouse lover,
That little thing that he just talked about puts up a little box in your real time. So it's going to tell you all of your untranslates, all of your translates, how fast you're writing. It'll have a little jump bar. If you have an external mic attached to your machine, this little jump bar will be jumping to let you know that it's recording. It's recording onto your WAV file. Okay? It's actually pretty cool. I don't really use it, but I mean, if you need to use it, you can. Depending on which machine you have, I have the Diamante, so it already kind of tells me that it's moving, it's going, so I don't really need that info bar. It doesn't really do anything for me, but that's how you turn it on. On the Windows, view toggles, open up the info bar, okay?
David, can you go back to that box? Because
Okay.
I noticed on mine, on that one is
Also,
the
a visualizer that is specific.
note bar is checked. Does the note bar need to be checked on ours? See off to the left there, under.
On note bar?
Yeah. Does it-
We'll get into that later. That's not really what, I mean, they're just kind of showing you the box
Okay.
itself. I'm kind of telling you what you needed to have checked off now. But, I mean, we'll get into what you need to have checked, okay? Teacher's pet over here was a little ahead of the game. Like that. So, no, but I mean, you know, good question. It's a good question. I mean, do they need to be checked? Yeah. I mean, the no bar needs to be checked. Paragraph bar, document tab bar. You know, some of it you don't need, some of it you know, it's personal preference if you want it. So you'll be able to choose whether you want it or not. Okay? Any other questions? No?
No.
All right. So read notes.
Let's see how to read notes and manage steno. Settings, input. The read method needs to be correct for your writer. On some older writers, you may be reading notes through a cable rather than a disk drive. The cable would be connected to a COM port, so you'd need to check the correct COM port on your computer.
You see what it's telling you here? You guys should already be set up. So that's why I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with it.
Read notes and manage steno.
And we'll listen to that. Is everyone hooked up to real time? Are you? I'm looking at you. Yes. No. Okay. So that's really what it's telling you right now on the input. It's what writer you have, which COM port you're using, whether it's a USB COM port, which COM port it is. You have to select the right one. Okay. And it can get a little bit difficult, so you may need to call support. Does everyone have that number?
Yes.
For those of you that don't, it's 800. Are you going to memorize it? Or?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I have it
Do I-
already.
okay.
Thank
Do I have
you,
a
though.
wandering eye? Does it look
I
like
feel
I'm
like
looking
you're
over you,
looking
or
back.
because I can look further down? And, does it look? I'm talking to you because you weren't here for the last class, so I want to make sure that everybody has the information. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, I have it. Thank you.
Does it look like I'm looking at you?
No, it still looks like that.
Really?
And when you really get.
Okay, how about?
it just starts going that way.
Yeah. Okay, how about now? So that's why. That's why, because you have to put in the right information, and one thing that isn't right will throw the whole thing off, and it's not going to work, and you're going to get frustrated and whatever. So as long as you have the number for support, 800-1759, I think. Call them. They can log onto your computer and figure it out pretty quick. Okay?
More typically, your notes are coming off of a floppy disk inserted in drive A, but the newest writers write to a flash disk or other smart media. So this may have been set up by Windows as something other than drive A. Thereafter, you can click on the toolbar icon or use the production menu or speed key Alt-I for input. Here's the read note.
So here is where they're going to tell you how to input your notes. Okay? I take down some notes here. You shouldn't need it if you're doing real time, but I do it anyway. Okay? Make sure that you know how to do it. Okay? So I'm going to back it up just a bit.
Menu or speed key Alt-I for input. Here's the Read Notes dialog. Give your note file the name that you want the job to have. If you like to scope notes before the job translates.
Okay, they skip kind of a little thing that's kind of important. So on your computer, you should have a reader for your SD card. Does everyone have one? For an SD? I think I have one. Okay, pay attention, guys. If you don't, you're going to need to buy one of these. It's a little bitty thing, and what you do is it comes off and it has a USB port where you put it in, and on the side it has the different the different SD writers. Okay? Make sure that it fits the one that goes to your machine. This one only has two. I used to have one before someone stole my bag that had like 5 different little readers on it. I mean, it was actually pretty cool. I mean, it had the real small, you know, the medium size, you know, and on up, you know, to the biggest SD card that you could get. This one only has 2. And maybe they're more universal now where it's only this size, the bigger, and then the real smaller, which kind of connects to this like camera, and they're like super small. So really, what it looks like is this. That's the SD card that goes into our machines. It's this size, and this one is, I think it's like 8 gig. Mine is 32. They sell them up to like 64, I think, or something like that. They told us when I first got my machine, don't use the 64. You could write like 9 years worth of stuff, I think, with a 64. Huge. A lot of space, a lot of memory on these little things now, okay? And that's the size right there. So really, and it goes in there. I don't break it. And it just fits right in. See? It just fits right in there. And then you plug it into your machine. You plug it into your computer, okay? Into one of the USB ports, okay? Got it? This is what comes out of your machine, okay? This little size. Put it in there, plug it into your machine, and then this is what you do. Alt-I. Alt-I brings you right here to input. So Alt-I is for input. Okay? And it's going to bring you right here. So what it's going to do, and I'll show you in just a bit. I don't know if it's going to let me do it or not, but I'll show you whenever we finish this visualizer. I'll kind of go through it and see what it looks like. Okay? But when you open it up, it's going to look like this. So it's going to have the file. Well, the file names are different now than it is right here. It is on mine.
When I hit Alt-I and he hits Alt-I, it brings up read notes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it doesn't look like that.
No. I think that makes
Yeah, it's going to look different.
Okay.
It's you know, and that's what I'm saying. It looks different than mine. This looks different than mine, but it's the same concept. Okay? It's going to be the same concept. That's why I'm going to show you what it looks like. And you can try it. Do Alt-I. If you're on the gray, go to the gray screen. You have to go to the gray Eclipse screen, so you might have to minimize and go to the gray Eclipse screen and do the Alt-I. Yeah? Okay. So what you do is, you know, you may have 15 jobs. The old court that I used to sit in, I used to do jobs in the morning. I used to do my jobs by the morning and the afternoon. Okay? And the method behind it is we did different hearings in the morning than we did in the afternoon. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, I need that Chapter 262 hearing from July 13th. Okay. I know that if it was a 262 hearing, it's in the morning. So I have a morning and an afternoon. Or if he says, you know what, I need that permanency hearing from July 14th. Okay, I know we do permanency hearings in the afternoon. So we have two different files. Okay, so I know which file to go to according to what the attorney is asking for. Okay, so that's how I would set up. That's how it's going to come up. So you're going to have, file 1, 66, and this tells you how big it is. That's the size of it, okay? And then it gives you the date, okay? Well, I'm going to have two of them. It's going to have file 2, 103K on 4/25/06, and this one's going to say 8:30 a.m., and this one's going to say 1:30 p.m. Well, I know one's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. Okay, so that's how I know. So then I go on, click it in. So I don't have to make one big file of everything because I had 47 different hearings in one day. Okay, I know that we did 20 hearings in the morning and 27 in the afternoon, which gave me my 47 hearings. Okay, does that make sense? So instead of loading that whole big old job, when you have that many pages, I break it up into half days, okay? Now, different people have asked in classes before, well, I mean, should I turn off and make a new file for every different case? Well, you can. That's a lot of different cases, and it may only be 3 pages. And then the next hearing is 47 pages, and then the next hearing is 9 pages, and the next one's 33 pages, and the next one is, that's why I break it up, so I don't have the whole 300 pages in one day. I have 150 in the morning and 150 in the afternoon. Does that make sense a little bit? If you're doing depositions, it's not going to matter. Okay? You're going to know that you took one deposition on that day, and that was it. So it has to be it. That has to be it. Because you took it on 4/25. So it has to be that one. Okay?
Clips can automatically open the note file for you after reading in your steno. As for the View Source button, it's handy when you have additional notes to read from a different source than the one you usually use. Here I'll use the Note Preview window and read in the notes.
So if you're not sure, and they said, well, Dave, it was a permanency hearing, but we took it in the morning. Well, we took it in the morning because we knew it was going to be longer. Okay, so most of the stuff that we used to take in the mornings was stuff that would last longer. In the afternoon, we knew that we had a bunch, so it wasn't going to last very long. So you can come up here to this, note preview, and you can kind of, go down, and it's like, oh yeah, now I see it. It's there. Yeah, I was in the morning. Okay, well, I need it. Okay, well, I know that it was in the morning. I know that it said job, so I just read it in. Okay?
Then press OK to close this dialog. Here is my steno, and here are 2 sets of time codes, although not significant in this non-real-time example. Let me now right-click to see what my options are. What's translate mode? Translate mode simply gives me a preview of how my steno will translate against my dictionary.
You see what it's doing there? The next time I use that will be the first time I use that. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. They're showing you how to do it if you want to, but guys, we don't have time for that. We need to translate it or not translate it and then move on, okay? This right here, you got time, and that's all you have to do other than washing the dog and vacuuming the carpet. I don't know. I mean, I could find way more better things to do than go through this, but you do what you want. That's how you do it. Right click on the notes, and it's going to show you how it's going to come up against your dictionary. Okay? And that's pretty much it on reading the notes. So all you have to do, put the SD card in, Alt-I for input, open it, select the day, read it. It's going to tell it, you know, it's going to look like it's not doing anything. Then all of a sudden it's going to read real quick, and then it's going to have like 27,462. What? That was how many strokes you did on that job. Okay? And then that's all you need. Close it. Okay. Any questions about that? I'll take that as no.
Let's take a quick look at Total Eclipse translation options. You can get to the Translate Notes dialog by means of a toolbar icon, or an automagic choice in the info bar, or selecting Translate from the production menu, or simply using the speed key, Alt-T. Use the Notes button.
So the Alt-I is input, which you already did. Now it's time to translate, which is Alt-T. Translate, T for translate. O for print, remember? I for input. I'm glad the two up front got it. Anyway, so this is what you're doing now. Now you're going to translate your notes from your notes to your dictionary into English. Okay?
If you want to select steno that you've read in from your writing machine.
Let me back up just a little bit. So, you know, when you go in to do the job, this is how you know that it's going to be the job. One, it's going to have this little paper thing. So that's what's going to tell you right there that it's the notes. And that right there tells you it's the notes. The NOT tells you it's the notes. Remember, the little book is the ECL file. That's the Eclipse file. And then the Wave has like a little speaker on it or something. And then the dictionary has like a dictionary. I think it's like red or something like that. So it's a totally different color. So you'll know which one to choose. But when you go into Alt-T, it's usually always going to give you the notes files. You don't need the other files. One, you haven't created the ECL file yet. You don't need the dictionary file. And you don't need the WAV file, because the WAV file is what has the sound on it. Okay?
You've read in from your writing machine. The system will default to using the same name for your text file, but you can use the text button to change the name to whatever you want.
You see what it's doing? So say you named it 9518 court. Okay. Well, now you come in here and it's like, well, that was the only job that we did. You know? Okay, well, I want to name it William Kramer, MD. Okay, you can name it whatever you want. So in that text file, you can go in there and rename it. Okay? Y'all still with me? Am I boring you?
There are two non-real-time translation modes. So for steno that you've already read in, you can have Eclipse translate in the background, and you will be able to edit immediately.
So this is pretty cool. So what you can do is like say, you know what, I had an attorney that called me, Dave, I need that job. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll call you and say, you know what, Dave, I need an estimate on that job. Okay. So I read it in, which is going to be a quick tran. I want a quick tran, and I'm going to tell you why. As opposed to a tran and edit. A quick tran is what it's going to do is it's going to go through there and it's just going to edit the whole job to the end, and it's going to be quick. I mean, it's going to take a couple of minutes, but it's quicker. Okay? Because I want to get that, I want it read quick because I want to know how many pages it is so I can call this guy, hey, it's 200 pages. At $6 an hour, I mean, at $6 a page, that's $1,200. You still want it? Whoa, $1,200, you know, hey, that's the price. That's what the price is. You know what, let me talk to my clients and see, and I'll get back to you. Okay. Or he's like, you know what, Dave, I don't care what it costs. My clients have money, I have money, I need it. I need it, we're going to trial, I know that I'm gonna need it, blah, blah, blah. I'm giving you a scenario. And then I'm gonna tell you how it really happens. So you just do it, you do the job. No, You say, unless you really trust him, hey, Mr. Williams, it's $1,200. Okay, Dave, go ahead and do it. Well, I need a check today, at least half. I usually get all, but a lot of the reporters will get at least half up front to start the job, okay? There's reasons behind it, okay? And we'll get into it a little bit later, but remind me if I don't, okay? But you call him and say, okay, look, it's gonna be 12, yeah, I mean, courier's on the way. And you trust him, you know that you've already done work with him, you know him from the courthouse or something like that. You know what, I trust him. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Okay. So then you would do a tran edit. Tran edit, a quick tran just trans the whole job. Doesn't give you the option of being able to edit. The tran edit is tranning the job, it's translating the job while you're going, so it's probably 6 or 8, 10 pages ahead of you. Now you can start working on the job inside of the job while it's still translating. Does that make sense? No?
Yes.
Jesus, lady. I'm gonna get some sunglasses. So you can start working on that job to make sure that you're already going. Does that make sense? Okay.
If you select Quick Tran, you'll wait for the translation to finish before you start editing. But the translator will be able to work more quickly because it's not trying to let you edit.
So that's what it's going to do. On a quick tran, it's just going to go through there, translate the job, and then it's going to give you a thing like that. Approximately 97 pages. Cool. Well, be careful, because you still have to add your title page, appearance page, witness page, certificate page. That's 4 more pages. I don't really care. It ain't mine. I know how to do it. But if you want to cut yourself out of $24, help yourself. Doesn't matter to me. I'm adding the $24 to mine, so I'm going to add 4 pages here. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're at 101. So now you give them a price according to the 101. So now it's an approximate. Hey man, it's going to be approximately 101 pages, so it's going to be $606 times 6. You'll see where, you'll see how I got that? Okay. So, I mean, the going rate right now in court is about $6 a page. Okay. So if it's 101, 606. Okay. You know what? Send me 600. If you don't want to worry about the 6, you know, and sometimes I'll just, you know, it's like 606, just send me 600. Jesus, you know, and these guys they'll nickel dime me sometimes or whatever. So send me $600. It may be more, maybe less. If it's less, I'll let you know. It's usually on the more that I let them know. But you know, sometimes it's very rare that it's going to be less than that. There's no way that you're going to start editing and you're cutting out all this stuff. Usually not. Okay. Unless there's one word on page 97 and you had to restructure something and it took up the one word or one line and put it on another, now it's at 96 pages instead of 97. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same time, when translation has finished, a statistics dialog will appear. Just click OK.
So the stats also tell you the total entries. So there's 14,548 entries. That's strokes. 15,000. Okay? Then it gives you the untranslates, which is stuff that was not in your dictionary that didn't translate into something. Okay? And then it gives you the conflicts, 1817. And then it kind of gives you the percentages of where you were at. Okay? With that thing. And then it gives you the pages. Okay?
And you can now edit your file.
That's it. Any questions about that? Yeah.
I know you mentioned.
Am I looking at you? Can you see me?
I'm sorry. the SD card and putting in your reader and doing it.
Yeah.
If Eclipse automatically backs up your file, why would you need to do that? Is it-
Excellent question. I don't even know what he. No. The reason you would not is, like, say you get to the depot and your computer broke. God almighty. Yeah, it's scary. I've had it happen. My computer crashed. Okay? It's not fun. It is what it is. But you can still write on that machine. Okay? So you can still take the job. That's not a problem. Okay? That's why I went through what I just went through. Of inputting the notes, translating the notes. If you're doing real time, you don't need to worry about this. If every job you do is real time, which it should be, you're not going to have to worry about this. But the one day your computer goes down, you're at least going to know how to do it. Okay?
And some of the machines also have a backup SD card.
Yeah,
And it
mine
just-
did.
that
Mine does.
records it on the
Yeah.
internal memory, which is the RAM. So it's
Yeah.
like 3 different ones.
Yeah. So the machines are pretty cool now. They're pretty cool. So, you know, you have to save your work. It's different for different courts. So for criminal, I think it's like 12 years, maybe 15. Yeah.
For what?
It's 12 or 15 on the notes for a court reporter. But for civil, it's 3. You only have to keep it 3 years. So guys will, I mean, you know, and attorneys, they'll call and say, hey Dave, I need that job from 2001. Let me check and see if I have it. That's gonna take about 3 seconds to say no. No, 2001. I don't even know if I was born then. 2001. Man, you know, you only have to keep it 3 years. Okay? So going back to 15, going back to September of 15, that's all I have to keep it up to now. So every month after that, I can start dumping stuff. Well, unfortunately, I keep it by the year because the SD cards are so big. So now I have the whole 2015, okay? But now, you know, as I get rid of, you know, stuff, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really get rid of the SD cards now. I don't. I just keep them. You know, and it's not that hard, and I keep them in a box. It's about this size, so you can fit about 840 of them in there probably. You know, but you know, I just put them in there. Okay. So whether you want to do the job or not is up to you. You know, if you want to do the job from 2001, I don't know. I guess if you want to mess with it, but you're not obligated for anything past 3 years. On criminal, I think it's like 12 or 15 years. Don't quote me on that. But it's like, I know that the minimum is 12, but it could be like 15. Okay? So we'll go to the real-time translation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever have attorneys that just want a piece of the transcript?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
When we go off, I'll tell you how to do it. But yeah, you're supposed to. You're supposed to.
Would
But I-
it be, if it says the partial, would it be considered like certified or authentic or?
It's an excerpt. It's called an excerpt. EXCERPT, excerpt. Okay? You know, and they say, you know what? Dr. Daraj, you know, was on the stand on Friday, and I don't need the 3 other witnesses, but I want his testimony to review it. Because I think we're going to recall him on our case in chief. Okay. Well, it was 143 pages out of 267 pages that day. Okay. It is what it is. But like a lot of times, attorneys will call you and they're like, hey, I need a copy of the order. Just where the judge ordered that stuff. Really?
So does the rate change because you have to go search for that piece? Or not?
I was given some very good intel early on in my court reporting career. And one of the court reporting gurus that I looked up to said, Dave, I don't turn on my computer for less than $50. So if that thing is 3 pages, times 6 is 18, I'm not doing it for $18. I'm not turning on my computer for less than 50. Now, if somebody wants to argue with me about that, I mean, whatever. You know what? Go back in the judge's notes and see if you can find it. But if you want the transcript, it's going to be $50. And you know what? I think I've had one attorney argue with me about it. And most of them are like, Dave, I just need it. I need it. We need it. I want it. Okay. Here it is. So.
So like you would just do the 3 pages, but charge $50 for 3 pages?
Well, it's not going to be 3. You know, it could be 1. It could be 1 page, but you still have your title page, you still have your appearance page, witness page, certificate page. That's always going to be on there. Those 4 pages are always going to be on there. So it's 4 plus whatever. Okay? So to get to $50, I mean, you have to be at 8 pages.